You ready? You're good? Okay, cool. So I'll be like 3, 2, 1.
Okay. Okay, are you ready? Are you cool?
Yes.
Okay, 3, 2, 1. Hi, everyone. This is Jaylen, your host for Let's Keep It G, and I'm so happy to have my first Lady G of the show, and her name is Isis Young. She's a sports broadcaster, and she's going to tell us all about what that is and what that entails. So, what is that?
Yeah. Okay, so I am a game commentator and I'm a sideline reporter. I also work in the studio as an analyst and a host. And so I would say, like, in the studio, I'm what you think. I've had shows in which I'm the host, and so I'm moderating the conversation and tossing in different people and getting my analyst thoughts. That's a newer role for me, which I really embraced. My bread and butter is being an analyst. And so if I'm in the studio or I'm calling games as a commentator, I might be talking during the games, breaking down the action. There's a play-by-play person who decides and says, like, what's happening. You know, Jaylen threw the ball at Ice, that the ball went in. I'm the person who tells you, like, why that worked. You know, oh, it was a really nice bounce pass, and then Ice did a great job finishing inside, you know, or something like that.
Yeah, it's just basketball?
I also do, so basketball commentary, yes. I also do soccer commentary. And then sideline reporting, I've done track and field, women's lacrosse, and basketball, for sure.
So you're just like a powerhouse. Just all sports. That's awesome.
I try. I like the versatility, you know, and I grew up in a household that played a lot of different sports. So I think, too, like, doing reporting and having the opportunity to interview athletes in a different sport that's not something I'm an expert in is really, really nice.
Yeah, that's awesome. So, like, I'm sure you travel all over because of it. Like, what is that aspect like of it?
Oh, man. It depends on the time of year. College basketball is my busiest season by far. This past year, I worked with CBS and covered the Final Four and was out there on site in San Antonio for the first time, which is really cool. And so I would say during college basketball from November to April, I am working 2 to 3 games or events per week. I'm traveling 2 to 3 times per week. More recently, because of my work in the studio, I've been able to hone in on New York a little bit more. So I go to the city all the time. I'm in New York maybe 6 to 8 times a month for work, which is nice. It's a 2-hour drive for me. And so that travel is a bit different than, you know, getting on a flight and hopping to Vegas or Florida and calling games.
No, for sure. I mean, with the traveling alone, would you say this is a job that people would have to be used to being on the go?
Oh,
like,
my
this
goodness.
wouldn't be for someone who, like, just wants a regular, like, 9 to 5.
Yeah, there's nothing 9 to 5 about sports. There's nothing 9 to 5 about sports. Everything is late night, you know, last minute, long hours. I know working in the studio, I had to get adjusted to going to bed at 4 a.m. Like, there were certain games where we were in the studio working actively until 2:30 a.m. And then you gather your stuff, you get back to the hotel, and you get dropped off. You're starving because you haven't ate since probably 9 o'clock. And so now you're eating at 3 a.m. and then have to eat and shower and get your body to calm down and go to sleep.
Right.
So the late hours are definitely different. Takes an adjustment. But the travel is fun. You know, like, I'm 29. Like, I don't have anything else to do right now. You know, it's just me that I'm managing. And so when I can be on the road for a few days, my parents do a great job of, like, taking care of things when I'm home. But it's nice to... No, I think just, like, the hustle and bustle of it all, being in different cities, working with different people, like, seeing different basketball events. That 6-month span with college basketball goes by so fast.
Yeah.
So fast.
Yeah. I mean, it's so cool that you live this lifestyle. I'm always curious for the outside in from people who don't know what happens on, like, TV.
Yeah.
Like, what is that like? Like, do you have your own makeup artist? I think some people think you have a stylist sometimes. Like, what is the reality of that if someone wanted to do what you're doing?
Yes. Okay. The stylist I handled first. Like, I think even before I started working national games, I cared a lot about my image and what I wanted to wear. And so that's a balance. There have been years where I've had a stylist and they've styled every, like, look for every game that I've done. More recently in the last year, I've gotten stylists to help me, like, get certain pieces, and then I can kind of put it together. So I know that I really have, like, my style and that autonomy there. So that's definitely, like, a part of my budget is buying clothes, renting clothes, like, putting things together, being smart about, even when I buy clothes for fun, like, oh, but can I also wear this on TV? You know, because you kind of want to do it both ways. In a given month, like, where I'm working a lot, I'm wearing 12 to 15 different TV looks. And so that is a lot of clothes.
Yeah.
Makeup artists, no, that is something that I've learned to do more so, is just to be able to do my makeup and kind of do makeup for TV. It's even something I've started educating, like, young girls who are going to want to work on TV, like, hey, that makeup is different than, you going to brunch tomorrow.
Right.
So I do have makeup artists for the bigger national games when I'm on like CBS or NBC for sure. But some of these other games, not necessarily, and it'll just be on me. And I also started to hire out a little bit more. So like I work in New York City. So now I've got, 2 or 3 makeup artists that I can hit up and say, hey, I'm working, next week. Can you guys help me out? So yeah, it's nice. In the studio, you always have a makeup artist. I think because there's nothing else to focus on. They're like, we have to look at your face. So it needs to be perfect.
Yeah.
So that's always fun.
Yeah. I mean, at 29, you have like such a fun job. How did you get here? Like you were playing sports prior. Like how did we get to where we're at right now?
Yes. Yeah. Come from a sports family. Both of my parents played basketball locally, like in high school. Mom played in college, and she went to a local school.
Nice.
So I had it, I feel like, in my blood. I didn't really realize sports broadcasting was an opportunity for me until my junior year of college.
Okay.
I was 21. I had done 2 years of college and I was studying communications.
Okay.
And I tell everyone, this is what I thought, that I was going to be a spokesperson for a company. Like Coca-Cola was going to hire me and they were going to ship me out globally and I was going to give presentations in English for Coca-Cola. Like
that sounds cool though.
Yeah, that was kind of an idea. Like still traveling, still talking,
Coca-Cola is a big company.
Yeah, that was like really one of my dreams. Yeah. And it was like funny because why would Coca-Cola use a spokesperson to sell what? But I just was like, I think I'll be good like presenting something.
Yeah, it's interesting.
And I enjoy public speaking. Like I think others, it maybe scares or shocks them. Like to me, it's a thrill that you can get right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I would say when I transferred to Syracuse in college, they had the best sports broadcasting program in the country. And I went there by accident knowing that. Like it really was a basketball decision that I made.
Yeah.
And so getting into the master's program, I was the first ever women's college basketball player from Syracuse to get into that program.
Congrats.
Thank you. Thank you. And it felt like it. It was new. I had a ton of support because they didn't have anyone like me before. And so normally like Newhouse is known for producing reporters and play-by-play voices, not a ton of analysts, because it's just not normal that most people who become analysts get into broadcasting that way. So being able to study that at the highest level there is in the country, and then also having played basketball at Syracuse at a high level, it kind of just meshed and it blended. And as soon as I discovered it, like it was over. I knew immediately after interviewing my first teammate, like this is for me. I'm going to ride this wave for as long as I can. And there's so much versatility you can have in this industry. And so, oftentimes I think about balance, right? Like, hey, I want to be a reporter, but I also want to be a host or an analyst, or I want to work in different sports. That's because like balance and versatility are key. Someone can pop you in anywhere and you can excel and grow the story and help others feel more comfortable. Yeah. You're always going to have work, in this industry. And so that's what I try to embody right now. And where I feel like I've kind of found my craft a little bit is just knowing what I'm good at on air consistently and then delivering that message. Yeah. But my time at Syracuse for sure set it up.
That is awesome. And then I feel like being on air, there's this like sort of confidence that you have to have.
Yeah.
Like, how is that? Because I feel like for some people, it can be intimidating when you have these like big cameras in front of your face and you have to have like this personality. I think for someone who would want to go into what you were doing, how would you say that confidence is key, I guess?
It is key. Like you can't do it without it. There's no way that you can go on TV and talk and say something correctly and not be confident.
Right.
And there's like two sides of it, right? Sometimes this confidence is just knowing exactly what you want to say and delivering it the right way. Yeah. Sometimes the confidence is in how you look, right? And how you're presenting the information. Mm-hmm. Even in interviewing, I think there's a confidence that you have to have. Like one of my best interviews or biggest names was with Michael B. Jordan. Right. And like standing in front of, the most, one of the most beautiful men in all of the world.
Absolutely. Yes.
And interviewing him and having to remind myself like, hey, act like you've been here, do your job, like make sure we ask good questions, get him to, share information that we really want to know, not just the surface things.
Right.
And so even having the confidence to walk and say to, Michael B. Jordan, hey, like I'm with NBC today. I'm the silent reporter. We'd love to get an interview from you. Would you mind?
Boys and normal.
Man, I'm telling you.
Yeah, it's hard.
I think, fake it till you make it, right? Like I remember my mom teaching me that very young. You go into a space where you don't feel comfortable, like fake it till you make it.
Right.
And so some of that is true in broadcasting. You may not feel 100% every day. Every game you may not feel like you're 100% prepared for, and And so to me, my confidence is less when I'm less prepared. Okay. And so in me getting better in my craft, it has been like the preparation part. Am I watching film enough? Am I talking to players? Am I getting stories? Am I organizing my notes? So that way I feel as prepared as I can. Yeah. So I know that for this next 2 hours that we're talking basketball and these two teams, I've got the notes to support whatever I want to talk about.
Right.
But yeah, and then I'll say last thing, like, when you know what you're doing or you have a purpose to you, you know, I'm not just like working on TV because I'm pretty, you know, and I can talk and like, oh my gosh, like, no, like I'm working on TV because I think I'm elite at what I do. And so also for me, walking in my purpose, like those days where you do feel like imposter syndrome, you know, should I really be here? Should I really be interviewing this person right now? You don't get imposter syndrome working a job that you know you should excel in.
Right.
You get that because you're challenging yourself to get to the next level.
Yeah.
So oftentimes I remind myself like, hey, walk in your purpose. Like you're here for a reason. Whether you have the confidence or not, God has it in you. Yeah. And we need to display that.
Yeah. And I love that you said that because I think a lot of people, early 20s, even, you know, teens sometimes, I feel like we feel this like imposter syndrome sometimes, but you are exactly where you're supposed to be for a reason. So I love that you mentioned that.
Yeah. Imposter syndrome is real.
No, absolutely. I have it often.
Yeah.
So I'm happy that she's mentioned that because, I feel that sometimes.
And it's a good thing. That's what I tell people. Like, I think if you're getting imposter syndrome often, it means you're challenging yourself to get to the next thing. Yeah. Like, you want to get that working at McDonald's.
No, right.
Like, I figure out how to flip a fry.
Right. So, okay. So when you're not a sports analysis, you have another business of your own that I want to talk about. Do you mind sharing what that is?
Yes. This is my baby, Your World Media. Your World Enterprises is like the umbrella of my company. It started in 2022. Honestly, I was in between playing professional basketball overseas and getting into broadcasting. Okay. And so I was towing the line of both and not sure what to do fully. And so in the time that I had off from one or in the other, I wanted to fill my time. Playing basketball overseas professionally, like your whole day, you're not practicing. You know, there are chunks of time in which you can focus on other things. And so I really wanted to start my business. Media training to me is something that is super important. Like I experienced it when I was a freshman in college and thought it was such a cool experience that someone came in and helped us, you know, be articulate, find different ways to say things, and actually get practice in front of the media. Playing at an SEC school, which is where I started, like you're on TV often, you know, you're getting post-game interviews often. And so for me, it was more about, hey, like I have played both sides of this camera. I have been the person who has asked the questions and interviewed these athletes. I've also been the person that has answered questions as an athlete. I think I can create a program that can represent both and that can help both. And so that's what I tried to do. I sat in my grandmother's living room, and sometimes I sit with her to get work done. You know, like you could talk things out to your grandmother, like they listen. And so I sat with her for a week in her living room and just did the curriculum. Like, what do we need to know about interviews? What do kids need to know about marketing? And then, the last 2 falls, like I've been going on a media training tour. So last year I did 10 stops, I think 14 different teams or organizations. I did college basketball. I've worked with swimming and diving with Notre Dame. Trying to explore and do different sports. But really just make sure athletes feel equipped to articulate their thoughts and feelings, interact with the media, but also let the media work for you, right? It's not just that you're getting interrogated and you're on the fence. You can also present yourself in a confident lighting and get your message across.
No, for sure. Do you feel like in a way it's like you're giving back to like maybe someone you were looking for, like in your younger self? Like, that's so sweet.
Yeah, you have to give back. You know, you don't get to where you are without somebody saying, I'm going to support you, I'm going to help you. And 2, I grew up around so many, you know, women's college basketball players that went to, you know, a Vanderbilt and played, and a Christina Foggy, like who I looked up to. And so in talking to her when I was younger, maybe 8th grade and she's a senior, she spoke well. You know, she was interesting to listen to, right? Like she had personality. And so I also remember just the fact that these people were my influences. So they helped me see the game and know maybe what to talk about or what to express about myself in that way a little bit different. So absolutely giving back. Like I always try to, I think, to make sure that there are events I do a year where I just do them, you know, pro bono. Like I'm just going to go and I'm going to serve. I don't need to make money today because that is so important too. Like knowing that you have a business and it's not just about money. It's not just about the bottom line. Like it's also about the impact and influence you have. And so that is something that keeps me very grounded. Like normally you mentioned all the traveling that I do for work. And when I start to feel like not grounded or just exhausted and tired, I start to think about like, who can I pour into? What person, what group, what organization, who can I pour into? Oftentimes that gets me back aligned on where the path that God has for me.
Absolutely. And that's beautiful. And then what you're doing, like, where is it located? Like, how is it in, you mentioned the fall, like how can people sign up?
So much. There's so much. Okay. So our website is yourworldent.com. Right now, throughout this summer, I do basketball training. as part of the business. And so I do it virtually where I'll break down film with athletes and kind of talk about, where they need to grow their games or areas of improvement. I do broadcast coaching. And so those classes happen online. I have a summer cohort that's happening right now. So they're doing 4 classes with me every other week, pretty much.
And it's just you?
Yeah, just me.
Wow.
Yeah, I have thought about like adding and hiring, right? And I've had social media managers for the business and different business managers help out. I'm getting to the point where I'd like to expand and get more media trainers, right? And so I can teach other young women how to talk, how to teach others, and maybe they want to be on TV. And so to me, I also feel like this is a very aligned step. You're presenting yourself, you're constantly public speaking. And so, yes, I'm hoping to grow it in that way. But for now, it is just all me doing the classes and the teaching and then some broadcast coaching.
That's so much fun.
Thank you.
Is there anything else that you're working on that we can kind of look out for in the future?
Yeah, I would say the media training. Like I look to serve AAU teams, high school teams, and then college teams. And so it's for any athletes. I love training Olympic level athletes, right? Because they know that they're going to see this media attention early. And some sports like gymnastics or track and field, these athletes are identified early. You're 16 years old being interviewed by ESPN or NBC Sports like after winning a meet. And so I think reaching athletes earlier, knowing that you don't have to be in the media to get media training, right? You can always articulate thoughts and feelings, sell your brand, build a brand as early to me as 14 years old. Like my first offer for college basketball, I was 13. And so at 13 years old, like somebody wanted to give me $60,000 to play basketball. Yeah. And I could have maybe ruined it if I didn't speak well, right? Or if I wasn't respectful, if I didn't articulate thoughts and feelings correctly. Right. So I think it's helping like our younger generation maximize that opportunity and just people realizing that media training can serve holistically like athletes is really what I want to become.
Yeah, I think a big part of my show is just having this rawness to explaining what people are doing in their career. Like you always see the lights and the fun things that come with it. But I kind of do want to talk about, maybe some of the hardships you went through, just being a Black woman in a space that you are, like even if people aren't into sports as much, I think it's something comforting seeing yourself, like you're in a bar and you see sports and you see a Black woman as like an analysis. It's so cool.
Yeah.
So I just want to know, what are maybe some of your hardships that you don't mind sharing that you've gone through with this?
No, that's a great question because there are always hardships, right? Again, like you said, as a Black woman and like as a woman in sports, I think we can start there, with some people feeling like, man, why is she breaking down the game? I'd rather listen to a guy break down the game, or man, she's, I call men's college basketball games. Like I do A10 men's basketball on CBS Sports Network. And so maybe them tuning into a men's college game, hearing a woman's voice, analyzing the game, and people having to get over that. Like, hey, first I'm getting over the fact that I'm listening to her. Then is she really that good? Yeah. So sometimes you face a little bit of like double critique in that. One thing that I think I strive to do always is just be fair but critical. Like be fair but critical. If I can consistently do that, you're going to respect what I bring because I'm at least consistent. Yeah. I joke about like basketball refs. Like no one likes basketball refs, but at least if they're consistently good or consistently bad, I can work with you. Right. It's when you're good one day, bad the next day that I'm like, hey, what's going on here? But if you're consistently bad, at least I know what to expect from you. Yeah. And so for me, it's like building that consistency. As you get better in your role, you start talking to people that are higher up in companies, right? You have conversations with the VP of studio. You have conversations with VP of marketing and maybe how they want to make you more of a focal point or more of a plan moving forward. Networks telling me like, hey, we'd like you to be our voice of this thing. Like right now, I'm the voice of the WNBA for CBS. Like how scary, it's
That's
great.
amazing.
It's absolutely great. But how scary, Yeah. And so understanding that you're delivering a message, right? 7 times throughout the summer, I'm delivering a message on behalf of CBS, covering the WNBA. Yeah. So some of the expectations, some of the critique, and then just knowing how to take yourself to the next level. We don't talk about that enough, I think, as a challenge is like, okay, I've mastered this level and I'm really, really good and I'm comfortable here. Yeah. And the next level, maybe the difference is just that I'm on a different network or maybe it's the price, or maybe it's who I'm working with. Yeah. And so having to balance where you need to grow, where you need to get to be there, having conversations with these executives, people telling you like, hey, let us know what you want. Like, well, what do I want? What do I actually care about right now as a 29-year-old person that is working on TV? And then what messages do I care to share? I will also say that, when you go on air and you're talking for 2 hours and you're calling a game, there are so many different messages that I can push.
Yeah.
So many, right? I've told a story about Skylar Diggins becoming a mom and her thinking about if she was going to become an all-star again after she was pregnant with her second child. Like, that's a story I like to push.
Yeah.
That is a hardship that is actually real that we don't talk about enough.
For sure.
The WNBA is going through like negotiations, right? And we're talking about women's sports and more money being poured into women's sports. Well, why? Like, I have the opportunity when I go on air to direct a message to tell you why you should continue to invest in women's sports.
Yeah.
Or I could not, right? And so I think to whom much is given, much is required. And so sometimes I think the burden of being that message, saying the thing that needs to be said, not talking just about the game, but also holistically about this industry or women in sports or the money that's going into it.
Yeah.
These are all conversations that when you tune into a national game on a Sunday, you would like to hear about, you would like to touch on. And so sometimes, I think the weight of deciding what to say and who to be on TV is important. And I'll say this too, like one of my mentors, Jamel Hill, she gave me a fantastic advice my first time shadowing her, which was just like, the best people on TV are the same people off TV. They are the same. Their energy is the same. Their interaction is the same. Important. They're authentic. They don't hop on TV and then decide, I'm going to be somebody else today. I'm going to be a different basis today. And so building the authenticity, knowing that it's got to be consistent every game, whether you called a good game, whether you didn't, whether you got criticism, whether you didn't, whether you went viral, whether you didn't, like all of those are different factors. And so managing those factors, only being 29, like I'm very realistic about like how old I am and like the realm of things. There are some people who have been working in my industry for 20, 25 years and probably don't think twice about some of these things that I constantly think about because I know I'm still building. I know people are still interacting with my brand for the first time. So I want it to be a pleasant, powerful interaction.
Yeah.
You don't have to like me, but you got to respect me.
No, for sure. And I was going to do that too, the opinions. How do you block that out? Because I think that's something going into a field like this, you can't really care what people think. Like if you're going to be about it, you have to just be like, this is what I want to do and block out the noise. And that's not easy to do if someone is not good at getting criticism, because sometimes some people may take it as like, oh, they don't like me or like they're coming at me. But sometimes you need a little criticism, but you also need to be able to block it out. Yes. So what would you say how that is? How do you do that, I guess? Yeah.
One, like you got to find your trusted voices. Where would I be without my mentors? I have no idea. Not here. Not here doing this. Like I have mentors who have been in the game, have covered the game from different areas. I have life mentors that I can go and talk to and get feedback on. And so one, I would say finding people that I trust to give feedback, because we all need it, right? We all need someone to give us a bird's eye view and say, hey, this is what I experienced in taking in your content or taking in your game. So that would be the first thing. The second thing is, again, purpose, right? Like if I know my purpose is here, my purpose is to educate viewers, entertain, and bring glory to God as I'm here today working, then I focus on that. I think sometimes we start thinking about doing so many other things outside of what our purpose might be. And so then you get maybe a little frantic.
Correct.
I would also say too, like, my real hot take, and Angel Reese would be my example of this. Like sometimes you got to embrace people not liking you.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't like you because you represent something different that they don't have or can't have
and that can't replicate. And that's okay, because we don't like everyone.
Right.
So you have to have an open mind of thinking not everyone's going to like me, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm just not for you.
Exactly.
And that's fine. You just keep going.
Yeah.
So.
And I think on TV, right, people cannot like you. But again, you want them to respect you. Right. You still want to be able to deliver information that can reach them, that can reach a general audience, or that can teach and educate. So yeah, you have to be careful of like trying to win people over on your side. Like I'm not trying to win anybody over. Right. I'm trying to deliver this content or this message in a fair but critical way and be consistent.
For sure.
But yeah, opinions are interesting. early on in my career, I read them more than I probably should have, like all the Twitter comments and different things like
Which
that.
is normal. You're human.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
And they're trying to just get a gauge, like you're on TV for the first couple times, like, what are people saying about me? What do they actually think? But then you realize very quickly that none of that matters. None of that matters. Like, you don't pay my check. You don't help me sleep at night. So let me just continue to do my job, make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing and getting better and keeping it pure.
No, absolutely. Is there anything about like what you do that you think is really interesting that maybe people from the outside in wouldn't think about that you do day to day?
Oh, yeah. So I would say like most people probably don't maybe know this about me. Yeah, I would say most people probably don't know this about me or think this, but like I'm a full-time entrepreneur.
Okay.
So when I work for these networks, like I'm an independent contractor. They bring me in to work, I work, and then I leave. I don't work with the same people every day. There's only one job in which I have the same crew that I've been able to work with, which has been really nice.
Yeah.
And so like through my business, through the basketball training, the media training, and like broadcasting, it's 100% independent contractor work. That means I like figure out my own healthcare, which is very annoying. That means like the bundling packages that people get from working for one employer, I don't get. And so there are some like pros and cons to it, like with anything, but it is hard to maintain. Getting paid from 20 different vendors throughout a year, collecting, all the financial information, like checking up on things. And then just having a light part of your year. Like when you're an independent contractor and you don't have maybe consistent work, there are months in which you might be lighter than others. And so budgeting, like I picked up a financial coach when I thought that I was really going to make it meaning like people were going to pay me consistently to be on TV. I picked up a financial coach because I said, hey, we're going to have light months and I need us to be planned, for the future. Hey, I want to buy a house by 30 and I want us to make sure that I can do that. I would say the financial aspect of it has been extremely important. Like, it's something that I don't necessarily teach to my clients. I give them pointers here or there, but I suggest that everyone go talk to a financial coach. I think there are so many different people that can help you set up yourself for success without sacrificing what you're doing today. I still have fun. I still go to brunch. I still buy shoes when I want, but I also make sure that I save for the future. So that component, like having to become almost a money manager for myself, something, I don't know, I think you maybe think about in your everyday life, because we all manage money, but doing it as an independent contractor has been a skill that I've also had to learn and check on.
That's really interesting you said that, because I'm like, maybe do I need to go get one?
Yes, you do. Yes. I think if you have any future plans, it doesn't matter what it is. Again, like buy a house, get an apartment, buy a car, sell a car, pick up something new. Like I think if you have any financial plans, why not have somebody who can help you set that up? And the best thing for me, I think too, is like the team that I've built around me. Like my financial coach, my agent, my mentors, my sisters in broadcasting and in Christ. Like I really appreciate that my team has total balance. Age-wise, total balance. The different jobs that people work, balance. Not all of my friends work on TV. Not all of my friends, come from broadcasting. But also just getting the right agent. Like all of this broadcast work, have I gotten on my own? You could say, yeah. You could say like, yes, you were on TV, they recorded you, they saw you, and they decided to hire you, sure. But I also have someone working for me when I'm not, that's advocating on my behalf. And so building a team of people around you who believe in you, right? I challenged all the people that I just named in my team or my tribe, like, what do you see for me? And asking them that, because I want to know what you see for me before I tell you what I want to accomplish for myself. And to me, that has helped me find the best financial coach and a great agent is people who already believed in dreams or things or businesses. I remember talking to my financial coach and telling her my business goals, and she's saying like, you could do a little better than that. I'm like, okay, cool. Awesome. Challenge me then, and then let's plan for us to get better.
Right.
So I would say setting up a good team around you. My stylist is always my favorite person.
Totally.
Always my favorite
That's
person.
always fun.
It's always a Black woman. It's always somebody that is fly themselves, and then I get to come and help me get flyer, and I learn too. And so, I would say building the team around me, knowing that like it's not just me on TV every day. There are 3 or 4 different people who have put in time and energy to make sure that I can be successful today. Not including my parents, who are like rock stars and there for everything.
Awesome. Well, you have such a cool job.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for telling me about everything that you do. I like to end the show with, I like to play on the name a little bit.
Okay.
So I like to ask people, if you could think of a word that starts with the letter G, what would that be to describe yourself?
Ooh.
It could be good or bad, however you're feeling in the moment right now.
Ooh, okay. Let me think.
Yeah.
One word? Can I hyphenate a word?
Yeah, if it's two, if it's a phrase.
Yeah, go-getter.
I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave you 2 G's. Look, that's like double the love right there.
I love that.
Yeah, go-getter.
All right. Yeah, so where can people follow you if they want to keep up with you?
Yes. Okay, so on social, personally, it's IceYoung23 on everything. My main platform is IG. I'm pretty active there. I do day in the life and different things, so you can kind of see what I'm doing for work. For the business side, it's Your World ENT is everything. We're also on IG.
Nice.
We show a lot of our interviews with athletes and a lot of the media training. So you can learn through watching our page. We hope to teach from far away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Thank you so much for this.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. I mean, you guys can, this is our second episode. I'm so happy that she was our second G. More to come. You can like, subscribe, and share this video if you want. And then it's Let's Keep It G on Instagram and TikTok. Is there like a certain way you sign out? We did the intro. Like, do you, or you just walk off?
No, I do a little like, it was good. Great getting to know you today. Thank you for your time.
Okay.
Until next time.
Okay.
Yeah, I always tell
It was
people
great
until
getting
next
to know you.
time.
Until next time.
Until next time.